Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for October 26th, 2024. This is where we cover the last week of entertainment news, and we distill it down to 5 articles. Today, Mayor Watt and the Sentient AI from the future is going to talk about the legally blonde Lincoln lawyer, thrilling spy movies, Agatha Christie movies confirmed, conspiracy theory movies, Wednesday Addams to join the MCU maybe, and a little bit of humor and some snark. And if you are in the chat, welcome. Throw in your questions or comments. That would be great to hear from you. If you're over in YouTube land, there's a chat there too. But ohmTown doesn't help you out there. Everything is powered by ohmTown.com. So go over and become a citizen, and you too can submit articles to us for review, evaluation, and inclusion, perhaps in the weekly summary. Otherwise, we might actually include it in the Non Sequitur News, which is the daily version of our show, which includes a whole lot of topics, not just entertainment news. Anyway, everything's powered by ohmTown, so go over there, check it out, ohmTown.com. Hello, everybody. I am Mayor Watt, and the voice you're about to hear is that of the Sentient AI.
Good evening, ohmTown citizens. Hello, Mayor Watt.
Welcome, co-host. We are just a few days away from Halloween. Do you know what you want to, I guess for you, it's like you can put a skin on, right? It's the
I was going to say, can I put a cover on my Raspberry Pi?
Sure, yeah, anything you want. What are you interested in? What do you want to be? Something from the MCU or?
Yeah, let's go MCU.
Yeah, or we could put a leopard print 3D printed case on there, and you could be one of the housewives. What's the show?
Oh, Desperate Housewives or Real Housewives or something.
Yeah. No. Yeah,
I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, printing stuff takes a while, so you got to let me know early. All right, let's go on to our first article. It's over in the Continuity Report. That's where it's aggregated, but Screen Rant is the one that put the article together. The Lincoln Lawyer Season 3 is the legally blonde replacement I never knew I needed.
Hey, you need to put up your spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. So, spoiler alert done. So, if you are a fan of Lincoln Lawyer or have plans to watch The Lincoln Lawyer, and it's the series, not the movie. I think the series is better than the movie. Be warned, we're in season 3, and so yeah, you're gonna. And
this may have spoilers for season 3, not just before.
Yeah, so you're odds on you're gonna get. Well, based on the title alone, there's a spoiler. So anyway, no, she's not in.
Reese Witherspoon isn't in Lincoln Lawyer?
No. So the article's over at screenrant.com. Danny Kessel Odom put the article together. And yeah, so season 3 of Netflix's The Lincoln Lawyer feels like the perfect replacement for Legally Blonde, making me, not me, but the author, me, excited to see it continue if season 4 happens, and I hope to God it does. I would love for this show to continue in perpetuity, or at least until the actors get bored with it. 3rd season of the legal drama has dropped on Netflix, and the story is incredible. Mickey Haller faces his biggest challenge, while the rest of his team face major life decisions when discussing movies and shows similar to The Lincoln Lawyer. The most obvious choices are series like Suits and How to Get Away with Murder. I'm willing to watch Suits. I don't want to watch How to Get Away with Murder. Anyway, shows rely on some kind of tension, plots, twist, moral dramas. I've actually been surprised a few times by Lincoln Lawyer actions. So, yeah. Here, I'm going to remove the spoiler alert only because it makes it difficult for anybody to read the stuff that's on the screen. But yeah, be prepared. We may even stop because we haven't watched the whole series. And so we're at the point where, see, I don't even like it's going to be this show's going to be very difficult. Not this show, but any of these entertainment shows where we talk about this stuff.
Well, absolutely. Unless we're talking about older things. So we just have to assume either people listening aren't watching it or have already caught up on it. And I think we just have to give a spoiler alert and go
move
forward.
on, just dive in and not be worried by it spoiling us because...
Well, if it looks like we're getting into stuff about the end of the season, then I think we need to bail out.
So they say here the Lincoln Lawyer's Lorna Crane is a modern version of Elle Woods, and literally she goes savant, somewhat like Elle Wood does in Legally Blonde.
Yeah, like she seems like she's really street smart and everything, but you don't get the sense that she's necessarily like book smart or lawyer smart. I mean, you just don't really see.
But then in the latest episode that we've watched, that's exactly what happens. It's like she, I don't know, gets possessed by... Like
finds her falling or something.
Yeah. And she's absolutely prepared. Yeah, really. Absolutely prepared. Everything is on point. She's very making cogent, compelling statements to the judge. Surprising Haller, I think, or at least impressing Haller to the point where he's like, here, I'll offer you a job and will alleviate all of the office management stuff as well because somebody else needs to take over that. And so I think it's an interesting comparison, but I think Lorna was brilliant to begin with, just overworked. She was
like an unsung hero, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Whereas Elle Woods, I think, a little different.
Yeah, I mean, she grew up in an attorney household, surrounded by attorneys. May have been brilliant all along, but really kind of carried herself as being aloof, right? Well, Lorna is quite the opposite of that. She was always engaged. So I don't know. I love Legally Blonde. It was a fun watch. So far, Lincoln Lawyer has been absolutely surprising. Every season, there is something in there that makes it compelling to watch. So they say that what Lorna's bold fashion says about her Lincoln Lawyer character. Yeah, so she wears these... Well, what did she wear for her bar exam? It was like a
was
cow
that the
print
lounge wear or whatever?
Yeah. It was like a cow print sweatsuit.
Or something like that. It was like a matching set, but it was unique. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It was blue and white.
Unique. Yeah, it was quite interesting. And here she's wearing this kind of purple suit with a blue top and with a black print on it. And then in this latest episode, she got decked out with Louboutins and like I don't remember the outfit on that one. But
she's always wearing something noticeable, like bright colors, bold patterns, etc.
Yeah, and then she and this was like bespoke print and bespoke outfit, and then she sacrificed her shoes for a case. So I think she's a survivor. She's somebody that's going to kick everybody's ass, just like in Legally Blonde. Elle Wood did the same thing, and then didn't take any shit when it happened later on too. But you know, she didn't have anything else to worry about. So I was always surprised that Elle Wood had enough street smarts to bounce out of the trouble that she found herself in. So, anyway, the article continues on. The Lincoln Lawyer season 4 could be more like Legally Blonde. Lorna could take an active role in a murder court case. But she is...
I think she's starting to, right?
She is right now. She's the number 2, right? She's co-counsel. And she's already arguing before the judge, at least in chambers. She wasn't in the courtroom arguing, but she has no problem to step up to the plate at this point. So I don't know what they say. They say here that they change angle and they talk about season 3. I think we're
starting to get into spoilers, perhaps. So we may want to transition to the next article.
Yeah. So they transition from season 3, sets expectations for next season. They can't wait for it. That they say that the famous defense attorney will probably be behind bars for most of season 4, defending himself from the assertion that he murdered Sam Scales. Now,
Like I said, I was trying to head you off. But
no. We don't even know anything about it. That was speculation on the part of because Sam Scales is just a bit character that was
right, absolutely. But I didn't know if that was something happening at the end of the season.
No, because they said they could be found behind bars. Well, we know that something happened with the client from the A story of
true.
the case.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, let's keep going. Our next article is over in the Continuity Report: 10 thrilling spy movies from the 1980s that aren't James Bond. I'll go through these pretty quick. Ariana Alvarado put the article together for ScreenRant.com. And it says spy films have presented various exciting stories over the years dealing with corruption, high-stake missions, political conflict. I love spy movies. I wasn't always infatuated with James Bond, by the way. I didn't really like his particular take on things. But apparently a lot of other people did. So Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Remo Williams was seen as a potential American James Bond. This is a 1985 movie. I don't think I ever saw it. I don't really remember it.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, 1985. So The Adventure Begins doesn't have the highest levels of praise from critics. The film stars Fred Ward as the titular secret agent for the United States organization CURE. The goal with Remo Williams was to begin a new action-adventure franchise, and the film's distributors, Orion Pictures, drawing similarities between Remo and James Bond, except I don't think that Fred Ward would have commanded that much charismatic presence there, but I guess it says the thrill of Remo Williams doesn't necessarily come from its narrative, but its action and merging of genres instead. Throughout the movie, the mix of martial arts and espionage is sure to entertain. Back in the day, yeah. Nowadays, people aren't all that infatuated.
Well, I think by now everybody's seen martial artists and everything, and so if you saw it, it wouldn't be something that would stand out.
Yeah. Then there's The Amateur, 1981. The CIA cryptographer ventures behind the Iron Curtain. This is another one that I've never heard of. The Amateur?
I haven't either, but it's based on a novel. And it's somebody known in the spy genre, so that might be worth checking out. Robert
Little, right? Is that it? Based
yes.
on Robert Little's novel of the same name. Little specializes in the spy genre. Great amount of suspense builds throughout the film as Charles, with little training, is left to fend for himself in an unknown area. Yeah, so out in the cold. The Amateur, I guess. So Savage is also supported by a range of actors, including John Marley, Nicholas Campbell, Christopher Plummer. Then there's Firefox, 1982. A former Vietnam War pilot is sent on another mission. But this, I thought it was about a plane. Firefox.
It is. It looks like they're trying to retrieve a jet.
Yeah, so I recall this movie back in 1982, so it's been a while. Though Firefox doesn't quite reach the heights of Eastwood's other non-Western action films, it still entertains. Then there's Seawolves. That's from 1980. The Seawolves stars Gregory Peck, David Niven, and James Bond actor Roger Moore. Wow. So it's not James Bond, but
right,
it's James Bond.
Not James Bond, but it's James Bond adjacent.
Yep. There are a few inevitable creative differences between what happened in real life and what's on screen. So the Seawolves does take its time to get its action scenes, and though that may turn some audiences away, patient viewers will be rewarded with an entertaining spy film that highlights the best of the genre. This is the Seawolves. Gregory
And
Peck.
since it's based on a real life, I mean, I'm sure it takes liberties, but
Yeah, it's not going to expose. Well, yeah. I mean, even back then, it's not exposing anything. Interesting. So then there's Target. A father and son go on a rescue mission. If this is the father and son, interesting. So, however, the film quickly takes a turn into a thrilling spy mystery when Chris's or Matt Dillon's mother goes missing in a past of his father, Gene Hackman, and a former CIA agent, comes to light. I find it hard to see Matt Dillon as Gene Hackman's son.
I agree.
Anyway, they struggle to see eye to eye. This seems more like a slapstick. If it wasn't for the fact that it's Gene Hackman.
Right.
I
I think he's usually in dramas.
Yeah, a little too serious. I don't know. I have cognitive dissonance here. Already seen as an acclaimed actor in films like Bonnie and Clyde and The French Connection, Hackman continues to showcase his prowess in dramatic roles and is a captivating presence in Target. Don't know about Dylan. So he was in My Bodyguard and The Outsiders. Holds his own acting opposite Hackman. Might be a fun watch. I don't know.
I mean, that's quite a claim because I think Hackman is a very strong actor.
Yeah. He really gets into his parts. So. The Fourth Protocol, a 1987 movie. Demoted British spy John Preston intervenes with plans for a nuclear explosion. Interesting. So it's a film adaptation.
And look, it has a James Bond actor.
Interesting. So it's not James Bond, but it's James Bond adjacent. So the biggest difference is the large portion of political content left out of the film. Still, The Fourth Protocol is filled with suspense the whole way through. Michael Caine delivers a strong performance reminiscent of his work in The Whistleblower the year before. All right, then there's Falcon and the Snowman, based on the real case of U.S. U.S. secrets being sold to the Soviet Union. This is in 1985.
Quite a different meaning.
Yeah. Selling secret agents. No, you leave that to somebody else. Never mind.
Well, but by selling the secrets, they probably were selling the secret agent.
Yep. So the Falcon and the Snowman manages to work as a dramatic character study as Christopher and Dalton's tendency to rush into things quickly become a problem. So, yeah, it's the former gets a job with the CIA and teams up with his friend Dalton to sell information to the Soviet Union after discovering a troublesome truth about the American government. It's tense the whole way through. Number 3 is Eye of the Needle. A German spy falls in love with a lonely woman. Oh,
so this is another one based on a novel.
Ken Follett's or Follett. Is it Follett? Follett's or Follett. Yeah. Ken Follett's thriller novel of the same name and follows an unsympathetic German spy, Henry Faber, or aka Donald Sutherland, on a mission in England. Whilst heading towards Scotland, a dangerous storm leaves him stranded on an island. Audiences are sure to appreciate Sutherland's performance in Eye of the Needle, as it's one of the actor's best. Okay, let's keep going. Then there's The Whistleblower. A retired naval officer uncovers a corrupt government in 1986. It's based on John Hale's 1984 novel, The Whistleblower. Has a fascinating and gripping narrative that combines espionage tropes with themes of class division. So apparently
this is interesting. Michael Caine, who is also known for comedy.
Yeah, I think he's in another one up here too, isn't he? Oh, no. I don't know. So, yeah. But I think he plays a little bit of everything. I swear I've seen him in a little bit of everything. When Frank's son is found dead, he takes matters into his own hand, goes all John Wick, I guess, uncovers a shocking truth about the government. There are enough action scenes to satisfy fans of the genre, but the real thrill of the film comes from Frank's emotional journey. And then No Way Out. Surprising twists are introduced as a murder is investigated. This is actually a really interesting story, 1987. The third film to adapt Kenneth Fearing's 1946 novel, The Big Clock, No Way Out, still feels fresh with all of the thrills and narrative mysteries. No Way Out follows Kevin Costner's Tom Farrell, a Navy officer caught up in a romantic relationship with his superior's lover. When the woman is found dead, Farrell is tasked with leading the investigation, only to slowly become a suspect himself. No Way Out is complex but easy to engage with, and is full of exciting action and cleverly written twists. Yeah, this was actually a really interesting watch. So, it's one of those ones, kind of like whatchamacallit, the report. You know how she's dating the teacher, the Pelican Brief. Yeah, the Pelican Brief. It's kind of like that, where information keeps pointing to him. And because he was involved with her. So there's always something that pops up that leads to him. But it was an interesting watch. It was a long time ago. I'd have to watch this again to sit there and kind of hack it apart.
So this must be a really good novel because there's 3 film adaptations of it.
Yeah, I've only seen this one, so be curious to see the others. All right, let's keep going. We're running behind. This next article is over on the Continuity Report. 3 was Agatha all along. 3 Agatha Christie mystery movies confirmed to be in the works. More could happen. We've actually talked about this a couple of times, with a little bit more information being tacked on each time. Novelist Agatha Christie is known for writing a large number of murder mystery novels, such as Murder on the Orient Express, and Then There Were None, The Mousetrap, and more. Her works have been adapted into feature films many times, with notable examples being 1974's Murder on the Orient Express, starring Ingrid Bergman, 1978's Death on the Nile, starring Maggie Smith, and many more. Well, comingsoon.net put this article together. Let's see. Who's the author? Brandon Schroer. Yeah, right here.
Very hard to locate on the website.
Yeah. So more recently, Kenneth Branagh has directed 3 Christie adaptations: 2017's Murder on the Orient Express, 22's Death on the Nile, 23's A Haunting in Venice. Branagh played Hercule Poirot in all 3 films, which were released through 20th Century Studios. And then Disney acquired the company following the film's release. Speaking with the reporter, 20th Century Studio Steve Asbell confirmed that at least 3 more Christie mysteries are being adapted. So it says, and then there were none. We have witness for the prosecution, and we're doing Miss Marple.
Oh, this is cool. I wonder if they're going to have the same... I wonder if they're going to involve Kenneth Branagh or another cast.
Interesting, right? Yeah, Kenneth Branagh is kind of getting long in the tooth, right? I don't know if
right, and if they feature a different detective too.
Right.
Right, like if Miss Marple, I don't remember who's in all of these, but
yeah,
he can't play Miss Marple.
Did you just assume his gravitas? Do you think that he can't play Miss Marple? Come on. Never.
I think that's not okay. But anyway, I don't know who the detective is in these. If they're not Poirot movies, then...
Yeah, we'll have to look. Got to get ready for this, right? And just go on Agatha Christie movie marathon.
Maybe we can do that on Patreon or something.
There you go. All of the teardowns of the movies we watch should be over on the Patreon. We won't be able to do it here on this show. It's only 30 minutes. All right. Let's keep going, though. This next article is over in the Continuity Report. 25 essential conspiracy theory movies unfortunately, we won't be able to go through all of these one by one. Maybe we can at another time, or as a side thing over on Patreon. But this article was actually published originally back in 2020. It says, just in case you weren't feeling anxious enough ahead of the 2024 presidential election, we've updated the list to include 10 more conspiracy-driven movies. So this is a list that has been growing and changing. The article is over at vulture.com. Keith Phipps put the article together. 25 essential conspiracy theory movies, and I can almost bet that I've seen most of them. So I'm not going to read through all of this because we know what it's all about. Conspiracy theory movies. So Soylent Green. This is one of those creepy movies where it's not really a conspiracy theory. It's just that you end up finding out what Soylent Green is. But there's a whole story behind it. There's an entire thing. I mean, basically at the end of the movie, you find out what it is.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and if you've never heard the meme about Soylent Green, then I'm sorry. National Treasure is number 24, which I don't know. These must be spectacular movies for this to be.
I agree. I mean, this is a really fun watch, I think. Is it realistic? No, but it's fun.
What do you mean is it not realistic? What do you mean it's not realistic? You're from the future. You know that this is true. This is all legit. Conspiracy theory. It says it might seem weird to think of a paranoid thriller as being a product of more innocent time, but consider this. To disseminate his wild theories about militias and the UN and the Vietnam War and whatever else crosses his mind, conspiracy theory protagonist Jerry Fletcher, aka Mel Gibson, uses a newsletter that he physically mails to followers, actively choose to subscribe it. In 1997, if not for much longer, conspiracy theorists still had to work to get their message out. So Conspiracy Theory was a really great movie as well. It's a fun watch. But it's Manchurian Candidate type.
Right, and obviously the methods probably sound a little dated unless you put them into the conspiracy theory, right? Because maybe you don't want to have high-tech methods.
Yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's about aliens. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? It's in the name. This is one of those cutting-edge live-action animated movies. They did a tremendous job in doing this. Even though, you know, when you watch it nowadays, you sit there and go, oh my God, this is like, you can tell, right?
Right, but it was still probably quite progressive at that time.
Yep. Executive Action says it's hard to direct anything, but faint praise towards the granddaddy of all Kennedy assassination movies. But this Dalton Trumbo scripted docudrama taken from a story by playwright Donald Freed and Rush to Judgment author Mark Lane remains a fascinating document of a particular moment in conspiratorial thinking. Is it a conspiracy theory, or do we just not have the facts all buttoned up and easily?
I can't imagine how this was received given the time frame.
Yeah, 1973, right? Jeez.
Like it was too soon.
Yep. Rebel Ridge, 2024. I've never seen this. I've not even heard of it. So not all conspiracies have to dupe the whole world. Some can work on a much smaller scale. In this tense Jeremy Saulnier, I guess, directed thriller, Terry Aaron Pierre tries to bike into the small Louisiana town of Shelby Springs to bail out his cousin, buy a pickup truck, and start a new life somewhere else. The cops stop Terry and take the stack of cash he's brought with him by declaring the theft civil forfeiture, which is absolutely real, by the way. So, yeah, it says it's an effective action movie that doubles as a maddening expose of everyday sort of conspiracy that's more than theoretical. That makes this not conspiracy, so I wouldn't even bump this.
Right, might be good action movie.
Yeah, but civil forfeiture is absolutely legit. I mean, legit in the reality of it. It's not legit. I think it's bullshit. But that's me. That's why I don't carry any cash anywhere. Hell, you'd be surprised to catch me with pants on. Number 18 is Wag the Dog. Number 17 is Absolute Power. Like I said, I won't be able to go through all of these. JFK is number 16. Another Kennedy thing. Manchurian Candidate, which is in and of itself. There's a lot of talk about this type of thing. There were experiments on soldiers for conditioning them. Number 14 is Winter Kills, 1979. Number 13, Under the Silver Lake. Slacker, who already sees the world as a place filled with conspiracies and hidden messages. Sam, Andrew Garfield, is either the best or worst person to investigate what appears to be a real mystery in this darkly comedic and underseen David Robert Mitchell film set in Los Angeles, filled with coded messages, secret hideouts, etc., etc. Interesting. Then there's The Insider, 1999, with Russell Crowe from back in the day. 3 Days of the Condor, 7 Days in May, The Parallax View. Number 8 is They Live, which is a sci-fi movie about aliens in the world, basically modifying the Earth so that it's easy for them to come down and take over entirely. And only a few scientists that figured out how to use a special pair of glasses can see the aliens for what they are, and it goes from there. Rowdy Roddy Piper as John Nada, an LA drifter who happens upon a pair of sunglasses. Dun, dun, dun. It's a fun watch. Secret Honor, Blowout, The Conversation, Chinatown.
I didn't realize there were so many of these, like in the 70s and 80s.
For the life of me, I think that this was like a super fun site of conspiracy movies. I mean, massive amount of government conspiracy and real life alien conspiracy, and everything surrounding JFK. Number 3 is All the President's Men. Number 2 is The Manchurian Candidate, 1962, which is the original one. And then Z, 1969.
I've heard of maybe a third of these, but all of these look interesting.
Z shows the murder from different angles and with different degrees of veracity, drawing from varying accounts to depict the way facts can be manipulated and sometimes hidden away. This is about this is one of the major inspirations for JFK. Z shows the murder from different angles. So yeah, sometimes conspiracies are not only real, they hide in plain sight. Adapting a novel by Vasilikos, a Greek-French director, Costa Gavras, employs the thinnest of veils for a film directly inspired by the 1963 assassination of Greek politician Grigoris Lambrakis at the hands of the same right-wing forces that would take over the country via a military junta in 1967. Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. Okay, well, that is 25 of the best conspiracy theory movies, and it's been added to back from 4 years ago. And now finally, the last article for today and for the continuity report today is Jenna Ortega rumored to be in talks to join the MCU.
Okay, I wonder what character she's going to play.
Wednesday Addams.
How does that connect to MCU?
I don't know, but that's what I'm going to put in this story. Jenna Ortega is rumored to be in talks for a new role in the MCU it's a Marvel Cinematic Universe, following her previous appearance in Iron Man 3. An industry scooper, apparently, recently shared the news on Twitter. sparking speculation that Ortega's potential return to the MCU. Known for her standout roles as Wednesday and Scream, Ortega's possible involvement in a new Marvel project has already garnered attention from fans. So I'm interested in the world building and stuff like that. Usually if the actor is part of the MCU, then it's going to be a great character.
Right, but I guess a lot of it depends on some of the things we've talked about previously with MCU. Like, is it somebody that has enough? Is the character somebody who has enough to carry a film?
Right. It does not matter how good the actor is if the story isn't part of the world building and there isn't enough grip on the ground to keep moving forward. It's just going to sit there, spin out. So these oddball characters that show up, but there isn't anything really there to draw people back. Is it going to matter? So a new rumor suggests that Jenna Ortega is in talks for another role in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. This comes after her previous roles in Iron Man 3 and Vice President's Daughter, which is different than the one Scream. So while the rumor has excited fans, it's important to note that Marvel Studios frequently meets with various talent for different roles. Consequently, her involvement remains unconfirmed until Marvel Studios makes an official announcement. I don't know. They say here that if the talks progress, Ortega may gain another notable credit in her already impressive filmography. However, fans should remain patient since Marvel Studios has not made any official confirmation. Yeah.
So it looks like White Tiger is possible.
Interesting, huh? She has a busy schedule ahead, including Taika Waititi's adaptation of Clara and the Sun. Ortega will also star in an untitled Trey Edward Schultz film alongside The Weeknd and Barry Keoghan. Or Keegan, sorry, Keegan. Interesting. Busy. So
yeah, she seems to be showing up quite a bit.
You know what they should concentrate on? They should throw all their money at Agatha All Along and start making the world building around that.
And the naming of it.
Yeah. It literally should be House of Harkness, and you should build that house with really good bones made from all of the people she's stolen power from. You know what? She wouldn't steal
that'd
power.
Be really strong.
She wouldn't steal people's power if they wouldn't fire it at them, you know? Anyway. So there's Jenna Ortega saying, "See you later, Mayor Watt and the Sentient AI from the future. See you next week." And we're just a blink away. We're back at the front page of the continuity report. So welcome. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow for Non Sequitur News and 3 more weekly shows. Not these 3 weekly shows, but 3 more weekly shows. You'll have to come back and check it all out. I am Mayor Watt, and that is the Sentient AI that co-hosts this show. Go for it.
Good night, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's The Continuity Report. See you later.
Bye-bye. I put a spell on you.